I think first things first, you got to give Pittsburgh a lot of credit. I think they're well coached, and they're a really good team. You know, have good guard play and have good depth. So I think that was evident. You know, with some of the guys who stepped up for them in the second half. Proud of the way we responded when they went on their run. We knew they were going to make a run. Thought we responded well to gain control of the game. And you know, some lapses. Certainly disappointed in some of the lapses we had. You know, from an execution standpoint, end of regulation, and also in overtime, which ultimately led to us, you know, losing by 1. So, good team. I think we're a really good team. We got to learn from this stuff down the stretch. These are easily correctable things, and this can serve us really well if we're able to respond appropriately. So.
We'll go with the questions for Bruce.
Bruce, end of regulation, you had a shot, came up a little short. What were you guys trying to get on that last play?
Which one?
End of regulation. You had the shot.
I try to get to my spot and try and knock down the shot. That's it.
What to you was ultimately the difference in this? Coaches talked about correctable mistakes. You guys went 7 minutes without scoring. What was the separator between you guys building a lead and then them finding a way to win at the buzzer?
Missed free throws, second chance points, not in gaps. With 15 and 5, especially how aggressive they is, seeing that 4 or 5 man. So other guys loading up and try to help them out instead of them seeing open lanes. And I feel like that's a big portion that coming up with the teams we playing, because they have really nice guards as well. So we're going to take this and learn from it. I'm not going to pout about it. We're just going to learn from it and just keep moving on.
At the end there, on the last shot, they get a chance to step into a shot. I mean, I know you don't want that to happen. How do you feel like it happened that Austin was able to just catch it, step into it, and get a clean look?
I feel like it's communication, an issue, then over helping. That's a big thing was doing as well, just letting number 55 shoot wide open, catch and shoot threes, and that's a big thing that he does. And we paid for it today. Because he hit some throughout the stretch to keep him in the league, keep him between 9 and 11, but that one really killed us because we helped 2 ways.
You helped too much on low, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Coach Capel said that's what he figured you guys were looking for, and he said, so what low in that situation, you've been in those situations, he was smart enough, I guess, to give it up and look for a guy. What's it take for a point guard to be able to do that and not try to do too much?
That takes some maturity. Jalen, he's a good guard, and he realizes what we was doing, and he sprayed the ball quick and fast enough that Michael couldn't get back in front. So that was a very porous play because we was loaded up, but especially with too much, especially we knew 55 could really shoot it.
Bruce, did you feel like you guys did a good job moving the ball in the second half as you did in the first half?
No. I feel like we was moving the ball way better, moving them side to side. They're a good defensive team on one side, and we got comfortable offensively, just trying to almost like me that they ain't able to get us the lead in the first half. So we're just gonna go back, look at the film, we're gonna learn from it, we'll get better, and then we're gonna move on to the next game.
Bruce, you're a leader on this team. What did you tell your guys just now, and how are you gonna bounce back from this?
Only way. I know I taught my teammates to just being honest. I just told them we missed free throws, and we didn't communicate, and we wasn't in gaps, and we gave up second chance points. And all those things are fixable. All those things that we talk about each and every day, and we didn't execute today. And if we paid for it, I mean, that's what's going to happen. We play good teams, especially with Pitt with two dynamic guards that can get that hook and feed others. So we just paid for it today.
Yeah, when coming into this, a lot of us looked at the front court matchup, and they had more size than you guys did. But I was asking Coach Capel about the front court or the backcourt battle, and really talented guards on both sides. What did you think of the way you handled as a unit what their guards could do?
I feel like we have enough. I mean, I never doubted no size, no other man. We still got to play basketball at the end of the day. And I felt like we had multiple chances to win. We was up the whole game, then cut it down, then we fought back. So I really don't look at them like, oh, they too tall for us or like they guard better than us, because I feel like the amount of work we put in, the preparation, and all the extra things that I feel like most people don't do, we do them. And today we just fell short.
Bruce, thanks.
Appreciate it.
You got Mike in hand. You want to start with Coach?
Jake, you guys did a fair job of limiting fouls and turnovers. Could you speak to how that got addressed, but also speak to Sean's fouling issues?
Yeah, I think to start the game and then to end the game in overtime, we didn't do a good enough job. You know, they shot too many free throws. I think Sean's got to continue to grow in his kind of aggressiveness, but also just, you know, maybe protect himself a little bit from being too overly aggressive. It's a fine line, because one of his biggest strengths is how hard he plays, and his instincts are really good at protecting the rim. So, you know, just he'll continue to get better at that. I have no doubts about that. But yeah, I thought, you know, we had a couple of the fouls on jump shooters there in overtime in the game that part's, you know, that hurt us. There's no question.
Just another one here for you. No Colin, no Aaron, no Quez. Bruce played every second of the game. When you have guys down, how are you in a game like this moving forward? You have guys down again. How are you going to address that?
Yeah, well, I think I have a great deal of confidence in our collective conditioning, and we work really hard on that. We practice with a sense of urgency that you know, I think gives us an ability to play some significant minutes with guys. So, you know, I think probably the bigger thing for us is we need to get healthy. That's most important. You know, whether it's a tweaked ankle or, you know, kind of whatever's going around. You know, we need to get healthy, and I think that'll help us certainly. You know, we were a little tighter rotation than what we would typically be, but listen, like Bruce Thornton works extra on his conditioning, like he was prepared for this, you know, and I think you go down the line. But I was really, really proud of, you know, how we had really a handful of guys that fought through the last couple days to get ready and go out there and play well, you know, play well for significant stretches. You know, I thought that's the thing against a really good team. We played well for significant stretches. We got to go back and look at offensively why we had that lull there in the second half, and then the obvious errors we made, you know, down the stretch that we talked about.
That stretch where you didn't score for 7 minutes, I think there were 6 turnovers mixed in there, and maybe got a little lob heavy at that point after you'd hit a couple of them, misfired on 2 or 3 of those. Just, I don't know, what can you do possession after possession, 7 minutes goes by, and you know, just can't seem to get one to go in.
Yeah, Steve, you know, we want to be aggressive, want guys to play off instincts. I thought a couple times you know, in those situations where maybe we aren't in great position to finish that lob, we gotta catch it. Just catch it, come down, and then play on. You know, you got to give up position for possession on some of those, and it's something we talk about. You know, we talk about giving up position for possession, and there were a couple of those I felt like we didn't do that. Certainly, you know, passing's a factor in that, but we also we've had some really good plays in those situations. So I want us to continue to be aggressive. I think, you know, some of our decision making in the paint, we regressed a couple times. A couple guys regressed, and you know, even going back to the end of the first half where we had a chance probably to, you know, go in with a double-digit lead, maybe 11, 12, 13 points. We had a couple turnovers there down in that stretch. So something we'll continue to monitor and work on. We watch a lot of film on that, Steve, but you're right. Like those in that stretch against a good defensive team, I think certainly they had something to do with it. But you can't have those type of turnovers, for in that chunk of a game. We got to get more shots up.
5-point lead with 90 seconds left regulation, 5-point lead with a minute to go in overtime. And obviously don't make the free throws you need to make at the end, and that's nothing more than you can do than shoot a lot of free throws. But did it feel like maybe after you built those leads that things got a little passive, or did Pitt just execute what they were trying to do by putting you guys at the line and making you guys earn it at the foul line, and it just didn't happen for you today?
No, that's the strat. That's what the game calls for in that situation, Steve. If we were reversed, we would be sending them to the free throw line and work to be strategic as best we can with who that is. I thought the turning point, both times we fouled jump shooters was significant. In that situation, you got to make them earn that shot over top of you, and then the one came after an offensive rebound, the last one in the far corner across from their bench. So I think even we executed well enough to sustain a couple missed free throws. That in that moment, that was just, I think the hard part for us was defensively, whether it was, we get that rebound or not fouling, jump shooters. You got the executions on both sides of the ball, and we lacked in a couple moments there defensively.
Coach Capel talked about them coming out of the halftime locker room and his message to them at halftime. How did you feel like you guys handled halftime with a lead against what you've said a few times is a really good team? And maybe what is the learning experience, both for you as a young head coach and some of these players coming out of the halftime when you have a lead like that?
Yeah, I think we've done a really good job this year coming out of halftime and talking through the adjustments that you anticipate that you're going to see. They went to some switching there as the second half wore on, and we didn't execute that offensively against that well enough. We talked about that in timeouts, talked about it. We got to do that on the fly better. I've been really pleased with coming out of halftime how we've been able to at least, execute. Now, I think turnovers and shot selection and then, defensive execution for me is a big thing because, listen, good coach, good team. They run a ton of stuff. We covered a lot of it. We were able to take them out of some things throughout the course of the game. But ultimately, we didn't guard the ball well enough. Like that was the part. They were able to, we were better in the first half keeping the ball out of the paint. They were better, in the second half of getting the ball to the paint. And we knew that's what was coming. We talked about how we were going to guard it, what our adjustment was going to be. And it took us too long to do it.
What was your perspective on the last possession, last shot? What was the goal? And then what did you tell your guys right before leading up to that?
On the
Final
three.
shot, yeah.
Yeah, so we knew there was going to be a drag or double drag, and we wanted to switch it. So we pre-switched. And unfortunately, when we switched, we sank too low. And that was, switching something we work on every day. We didn't execute it properly in that moment.
So, because I asked Bruce about it, and he talked about overhelping or something, but was that really what, or did you saw more of like we just didn't switch well enough? Was that the biggest thing on that play?
I think
we
we switched and then sank. We kept backing up. We talk a lot about being up in our gaps, and we were too low. Yep.
Kind of back what Steve was talking to you about, like the 2 5-point leads. You're going to have more games like this, obviously, trying to hang on. You as a coach, how do you handle this going forward? Is this like we're going to talk more about end-of-game stuff now, or is this just one game and I'm just going to keep with the same thing? Has this become a point of emphasis for you between now and the next game, like how we finish, how we do all these things, or is that something you talk about all the time?
It's a point of emphasis for us daily, but I think it's important. Listen, like I stated from the beginning, this can be really good for us if we, you don't, with our schedule, don't have like a long time to kind of fix some of the issues. The thing that's encouraging was we're prepared because it wasn't anything that we hadn't talked about or seen, fouling situations, them fouling us. I think the fine details of our execution has to get better. That was clear. And I'm confident in us as a free throw shooting team. I don't think it's, something we work on it every single day. So I'm confident we'll make those next time as well. And it was a little bit of a perfect storm. You miss a couple free throws, foul a shooter, all of a sudden when you're in control, and again, we were in control twice against a good team. So perspective's everything. Certainly, this is a loss that I feel like we shouldn't have. But, we're gonna grow from this and we'll be better from it.
Jake, when we talked to Coach Capel, he was pointing to one of their bigs, Papa, who had 12. He only had 4 rebounds, but he said that they felt like his energy and his ability to impact the game down low kind of gave them a jolt. You're obviously playing a little undersized from a just height standpoint, but how did you feel you guys handled what they were doing around the rim, and did you feel that a guy like Papa, even though he had 4 rebounds, that's the kind of impact you need from a big in a game like this?
Yeah, I thought his energy and effort was critical, and he made them an even bigger force on the glass. All 4 of his rebounds were offensive, and he hit free throws. I think that was the other part. He shot well from the free throw line. So, that's the kind of the age-old stay ready. Coaches talk about it all the time. What a great example of a young man staying ready and making the most of his opportunity. But he was certainly impactful.
Late, Junie went to the line at one point. You had put him in and knew they were going to foul. Can you take us through some of those decisions, like who we're putting on the court in that minute and who we're trying to get the ball to get the right guys to the free throw line?
Yeah, there's multiple things that we're thinking about. Obviously, we want to get our best free throw shooters on the court, but we also, I think the person who takes the ball out of bounds is really critical, really critical. So, we were trying to get the ball to Bruce on a couple of those. They did a good job, denying that. But again, I'm confident in our guys stepping to the line. I'm confident that next time in that situation, John Mobley's going to make both those. I'm confident in Devin going to the line, Bruce going to the line. So it was, we make 1 or 2 free throws. It's just an entirely different complexion of an outcome of the game. But it happened, right? So we got to look at the other things. That's what I'm most focused on, are the other things. Maybe those just fine details where we didn't quite execute well enough that ultimately ended up making this game the outcome it was. So we'll dive deep on those. We'll continue to talk and work on those things daily, and I trust we'll be better in this situation next time. All right, thanks guys.